The bells of the old stone church rang softly that morning, but there was a heaviness in the air that no one could explain, as if fate itself was holding its breath. Sunlight filtered through stained glass windows, painting the aisle in colors of gold and crimson, while guests sat quietly, dressed in their finest clothes, ready to witness what they believed would be a perfect wedding. Just as the bride took her first step toward the altar, a sudden voice echoed through the sacred hall, trembling yet powerful, stopping everything in its tracks. A homeless boy, standing barefoot near the entrance, dirty clothes hanging loosely on his thin frame, raised his head and begged with tear-filled eyes for the ceremony to stop. His words froze hearts, and what he revealed next would change every life in that church forever. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us of humanity, please take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this connect hearts across the world. No one knew the boy's name at first, and most people assumed he was just another lost soul wandering in from the streets. His hair was tangled, his face marked by hardship, and his eyes carried the exhaustion of someone who had lived too long without safety or love. Ushers hesitated, unsure whether to remove him, while whispers spread through the crowd like wildfire. The bride, Amelia Carter, stood frozen in her white dress, her hands shaking slightly as she looked at the boy with confusion and an unexplainable ache in her chest. The groom, Jonathan Hale, frowned in irritation, embarrassed that such a scene was unfolding on what was supposed to be the happiest day of his life. The boy slowly walked forward, each step heavy, as though memories weighed him down. His presence felt out of place, yet impossible to ignore. Years of hunger, cold nights, and rejection had carved strength into his fragile body. He had learned to survive by staying invisible, but today, something stronger than fear pushed him into the light. His eyes locked onto Amelia, and in that moment, the church seemed to disappear around them. A strange silence fell, broken only by the faint echo of the bells outside. As the guests watched, stunned, the boy revealed that he had known Amelia long before she became the woman standing at the altar. His life had once been very different. He spoke of a time when he had a home, a family, and dreams that reached far beyond the streets. He described a small house near the edge of town, a mother who worked tirelessly, and a father whose temper slowly destroyed everything they loved. When tragedy struck and his parents were taken from him too soon, the system meant to protect him failed. One bad decision led to another, and before he knew it, he was alone, drifting from shelter to shelter, then to the streets. What shocked everyone was the truth that Amelia herself had once been part of his story. Years ago, before wealth and success reshaped her life, she had volunteered at a community center where the boy was staying. She was younger then, kinder in ways that left deep marks on those she helped. She had listened to his fears, encouraged his dreams, and promised him that life could still be beautiful. But life moved on, and promises faded as she chased stability, love, and a future that felt safe. The boy never forgot her, even when the world forgot him. The reason he stood there now was not jealousy or anger, but desperation mixed with hope. He had discovered the truth about Jonathan Hale, the man Amelia was about to marry. Through nights spent near restaurants and offices, overhearing conversations and piecing together fragments, the boy learned that Jonathan's success was built on lies, greed, and the quiet destruction of others' lives. The same men who smiled confidently at the altar had played a role in shutting down shelters, cutting funding, and pushing countless people, including the boy, further into darkness. Jonathan represented everything that had stolen his future. As the truth spilled into the open, murmurs turned into gasps. Amelia's heart pounded as memories flooded back, memories of the boy she once helped, the promises she made, and the values she believed she still carried. She looked at Jonathan and saw not love, but convenience and comfort. She saw a life built on ignoring pain rather than healing it. Tears streamed down her face as the weight of her choices settled in. The church became a place of reckoning. Amelia realized that success had pulled her far from her compassion, and in chasing a perfect life, she had nearly bound herself to someone who stood against everything she once stood for. The boy's courage forced her to confront the truth she had buried deep inside. Slowly, she stepped back from the altar, her dress brushing against the floor like fallen petals. What happened next stunned everyone. Amelia chose to stop the wedding. She chose truth over tradition, humanity over appearances. She walked toward the boy, not as a bride, but as the woman she used to be, and offered him something no one else had in years, acknowledgement. That single moment of recognition shattered the walls built by years of neglect. In the days that followed, the story spread beyond the church. Amelia used her resources to uncover the full truth about Jonathan, exposing his actions and severing all ties with him. More importantly, she dedicated herself to rebuilding what she had once helped create. Shelters reopened, programs were restored, and lives were given second chances. The boy, whose name was Daniel Brooks, was no longer invisible. He received education, support, and a place to belong. His strength and honesty inspired a movement that reminded people how close any of us can be to losing everything. Daniel's journey was not easy or instant. Healing took time, trust took patience, and forgiveness took courage. But he learned that even the smallest voice, when driven by truth, can echo louder than 1,000 lies. Amelia learned that love without integrity is empty, and that real success is measured by the lives we lift, not the wealth we collect. As seasons changed, the church bells rang again one quiet afternoon, not for a wedding, but for a community gathering dedicated to hope and renewal. Daniel stood among people who now saw him, respected him, and believed in his future. Amelia stood beside him, not as a savior, but as a partner in rebuilding what had been broken. Before this story ends, please leave a comment sharing one word that this story made you feel, because your words matter more than you know. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you to look twice at the people the world ignores, please like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps stories of kindness and second chances reach those who need them most, and together, we can keep humanity alive in a world that often forgets it.